All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Welcome to the PWCC weekly live vintage card auction. We are here building collections, not portfolios. I'm Rob Gerard, your sports card therapist, and I have with me my co host, Jonah, who is at JD9Cards on Instagram. So, very excited to be here. I'm proud to say that this show is brought to you in partnership with PWCC. So, a major shout out to them and all their staff. And as we do each week, we are focusing primarily on sports cards that are from 1979 and older. So that's the T206s, the Cracker Jack cards, the Gaudy sets, the Play Ball sets, the first ever Bowman and Top sets, and everything in between. Don't forget, we have about 1 hour until the auction begins. So if you're going to make any purchases, put any bids in, make sure that you do so, and we'll be letting you guys know. We'll be updating you on the time and whatnot. Also, if you cannot watch the whole stream tonight, or if you miss a week, don't worry. All the streams get saved on the YouTube page, on the Sports Card Therapist YouTube page, underneath the live tab. Also, if there's a card that you want Jonah and I to pull up so that we can discuss it, just let us know. Let us know in the comments, and we will make sure to pull that up for you. So, we are here. We are officially here. The National is this week. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that throughout the broadcast tonight. But I am here with Jonah. Jonah, how you doing, man?
Doing good, Rob. I'm excited for the National to be my first one. I booked the flight a couple weeks ago, so hold the trigger.
Man, that is huge. That is huge, man. Because for a minute there, you weren't sure if you were going to be going, right? You were like, I'm not sure. You were kind of teetering. I'm kind of curious, what is it that put it over the top with you with saying, you know what, like I'm gonna make this an absolute priority?
I think mainly it was the cost for me that I was looking at. I thought it was gonna cost like $1,000 or more if I stayed a few days. But then I was like, if I just grind out like one day, leave early in the morning and then get back late at night, it's pretty manageable. So I looked at the flights and I booked it. So
I
I
love
figured
it, man.
everyone hypes it up so much. I didn't want to miss it because I did want to go. So I was like, I'll just do it. It's worth it.
Listen, man, you will definitely not be disappointed. And it's so funny, right? How we can just be so when it comes to card money, right? When it comes to the money we spend on cards, I think we can be very just like willy-nilly, right? We're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's only 3 grand, it's only 10K, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then all of a sudden, the time comes to spend money on anything except cards, and it's like, whoa, hold on, let me take a second here.
Yeah. Yeah. Card money is different world when you think about it hard.
Yeah,
So
without a doubt. So we have a few people here watching already. I know we started a few minutes early, so shout out to you guys. Jamie Estep says, good evening, fellas. Global says, good day there, champions. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to check out some of these cards that we have that we're watching tonight. I tell you what, a ton of very well centered 52 tops. A
yeah, I saw a lot in
ton
there.
of very well centered 52 tops that are going on tonight. So we're definitely going to be looking at some of those. Jeremy Lee is in the house. Good day, Bobby G. He says, Jeremy, I know you're going to be starting your stream soon with the hockey watch party. So good luck with that. Shout out to Jeremy. And Jeremy, I look forward to seeing you at the National, my friend. So yeah, a ton of well-centered 52 tops here. We're only going to be covering a couple of the cards tonight because a lot of them are commons, but I mean, great
Right.
for set building. If you are someone that is an eye appeal snob, this auction is for you. 52 tops. There is a ton.
Yeah.
So Jonah, how about you? Have you ever really taken the deep dive into 52 tops? What's been your experience, if any, with owning any 52 tops?
Um, I haven't taken a deep dive into the commons as much as I do with most sets. I don't think I'm a true set builder because I would like to spend my hobby money into my goats and my star players. So I just never have gotten into the idea of set building. But I've owned two 52 Jackies now, and then I just picked up this 52 Maze.
Whoa.
So
Hold on. Wow. When did this happen?
I got it last week, so kind of under the radar. Haven't posted it, but picked it up.
Look at
So
the centering on that. Can you hold that up again?
yeah,
Wow.
it's a
Holy
little
moly.
pretty good
That
looking card too. No creases or anything.
man, congratulations on that. Congrats. That's unbelievable
So
to get a really nice, well-centered 52 maze. Wow. Unbelievable. Good for you, man. Good for you. And you're in our vintage chat, right?
I am.
So I think I don't know if you had seen last week when a bunch of us started posting what some of our wants were. I posted 3 cards I'm looking to pick up, and one
Mhm.
of them is the 52 maze.
Is it? Yeah.
Man,
There was some good ones in and on eBay the other day. There's always go for a lot when they're well centered.
oh, without a doubt, and for good reason. For good
Yeah.
reason, they're all they go for a nice, well centered copy of any card from any set. Definitely, you'll be paying a premium for and that's for good reason, right? So, um, yeah, expect to pay that for sure. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to jump right into some of these cards. And so here's what I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to fly through these. All right. I'm going to fly through them. Then we'll circle back around. However, Jonah, if there's a specific card that you want to talk about immediately, like right now,
Mhm.
before we circle back, just feel free to jump in because I can't see
Okay.
you on the screen right now. So just jump in and say, Rob, hold on a moment. You know what I
All right.
mean? So, all right. So I feel like these 2 sets right here, someone is slowly just kind of bleeding them out of their
Yeah.
collection because we've seen a few of these
The past 3 weeks now. Yeah.
yeah, past 3 weeks exactly. So, especially this 1882 Cossack and Company. This is the one we've seen the most of, but last week we also saw some from this
Yeah.
set. So this is a 1878 H804-6 Forbes Company baseball comics, and this is called a fly. So I would imagine catching a fly ball. It looks like they have him. He's basically a clown in this picture. He's basically a clown.
Yeah. They're
Um,
all silly.
yeah, exactly. But this though was a little less silly. This set. This is a 1882 Cossack and Company. And this was the Batsman, and this is a
Right.
PSA altered authentic. And this right now is sitting at 105. Then we have an 1888 RNS artistic series baseball, and here is Baltimore, and there was a Baltimore that sold last week as well, same thing. This is a SGC authentic. This is going for $84. Now jumping into the T206, we have an Addy Ross pitching with the sovereign back, that's going for 370. That's a PSA 2. We have a T206 Art From, and that's a PSA 5, and that's a top 30% PWCC eye appeal. This is sitting at 240. We have a Christy Mathewson Dark Cap PSA 5, top 30% PWCC eye appeal. And this is at 2,600. Oh, this is a beautiful card. I cannot wait to come back and talk about this a little bit with you, man. And here's a second one. So they're both
Yeah.
PSA 5s. They're both top 30% eye
It was great
appeal.
to compare these two, see what they end at, the difference.
I completely agree. So you know what? This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna unfavorite that Art From one, and I'm gonna reset this so that we can look at these right next to each other. Yeah, I can't wait to see what these two look like right next to each other because there's already a $400 difference in price.
Mhm.
All right. What are you seeing here?
Well, I did a little research on these since they were both in this auction, and I looked up that the white cap is more rare for this Mathewson, so that could be for the price difference. Um, and obviously, they each have a different image. I think collectors prefer the dark cap based on Mathewson's face. It's more chiseled, and then in the white cap, it's like a little pudgy and cartoonish looking to me. So I think it's a better shot of Mathewson in the dark cap, but maybe
And
the
his skin
population
tone is
difference.
different too. If you
Yeah,
look at this, if you look at the dark cap, he's a bit more pale here, and with the white cap, he's a bit more like tan. He has kind of almost like an olive color complexion, right? And the thing is, I don't think it's, and I'd be curious to know if anyone in the comments can speak on this, because there's an argument to be made. Well, it could be just from the overall color of the card. It could have maybe slowly faded. It could have, whatever the case, but the blues look
mhm.
identical in these cards almost. So if the blues look identical, the green looks a little darker on the white cap though. So that could mean that that could be why maybe his skin is slightly darker on that, but
Yep. And then you also notice on the dark cap, you got the New York logo on the sleeve, which I
yeah.
like. And then the white cap, it doesn't have that at all. So I always like the team branding on cards.
Oh, me too. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, so very well said. Very well said. Um, All right. So next, we're still in T206. We have a couple Cy Youngs here. First one we have is the Bare Hand Shows, and this is a PSA 3, and it's a pop 1 of 2 with only 4 higher, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That is nuts. Then we have the Cy Young Glove Shows PSA 2, and this is sitting at 1725. So even though the Bare Hands is a higher grade and a lower pop, I mean, the Glove Shows is neck and neck with this thing. But I tell you, I really love the Glove Shows image better. I don't know about you, Jonah.
Yeah, it's like he's winding up for a pitch.
And
And
he's
he's wearing,
looking right at the camera. He's looking
yeah,
right
that's
at
true.
you. I mean, it's almost like creepy in a way. He's looking, and I've seen this image so many times, right? And it always kind of jumps out to me how he's staring right at you. It really feels that way when you look at it dead in the
Mhm.
eye. You guys are making eye contact.
Yeah, it's like you're the batter. You're about to hit a pitch from Cy Young.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we have Orlando, a collector's dream in the house. Orlando, how you doing, my man? He says hello, everyone, and he says that the backs are different also. So I'm assuming he's talking about the backs on the Maddie. And
Yeah,
Orlando says inserted in different brands of cigarettes. So they were inserted in different brands of cigarettes. So thank you for that, Orlando. So moving on, we are sticking with T206. We have another Cy Young Glove Shows. This is the Old Mill back, and this is a PSA 1, still a really good looking one. I mean, this is a great looking one. I would love to own this thing.
it is.
This is sitting at 875 right now. Then we have Hal Chase Blue Portrait PSA 6, and that is sitting at 600 right now. I mean, look how vivid this blue is.
Yeah, I always love backgrounds on cards when they're like one nice, solid, bright color, and that's a
Do
great
you?
example. I do like the 52 mantle is just that nice blue.
Yep. Don't get me wrong. I definitely have an appreciation for it too. But I mean, look at this
I mean,
background.
I like those too. Don't get me wrong.
It's like, so it's like we love them all, right? It's like
Yeah,
we could definitely just talk about every time you see a card. It's like, oh, I love the blue sky with the green grass. It's like,
yeah,
but yeah. So here's a Home Run Baker T206, and with the Old Mill back PSA 2 top 15% eye appeal. This is sitting at 380 right now. Then we have a Mordecai Brown with the Chicago shirt. Old Mill back, top 15% PWCC certified eye appeal. This is sitting at 675 right now, 675. Then we have a Nap Lahoy, and I know there's Lajoie. I know there's all sorts of ways that people pronounce it.
yeah,
This is a PSA 6. This is the portrait. Pop 1 of 3, only 6 graded higher. Wow. And this
yeah,
is sitting at 3,800 right now. Then we have the other one, the other Nap Lajoie with the bat PSA 4, pop 1 of 2, only 2 graded higher in a PSA 4. How incredible is that? good luck to all my set builders out there, especially if you're doing it through the PSA registry. Good luck, because look at this.
Yeah,
I
those are
mean,
great cards right there.
you're looking at a PSA 4, and there's only 2 graded higher. Not 2 dozen, not 200, 2.
Yeah,
PSA 4.
the pops on T2S6 are always a little misleading just because it's based on like the back
Mm-hmm.
most of the time.
I
But
agree. Yep.
Sweet Capital is a pretty, it's a common back, so it does still a high grade for
Yeah,
that set.
absolutely. And there's levels to T206 set building, right? Because some try to have all the backs uniformed, and then some are like, that's nearly impossible for me
Yeah.
to do, so I'm not going to do that. So here's another one, T206 Solly Hoffman. This is a PSA 7, pop 1 of 3, none graded higher. Wow, that's a great looking card. Here's a T206 Trish Speaker SGC 5 sitting at 2,800. Oh, it's a great looking card. I love that card. Next, we have a 1912 T202 Hassan Christy Mathewson and Chief Myers. Devlin gets his man. PSA 2. I mean, talk about an incredible card. You have Maddie, you have Chief Myers. PSA 2 sitting at 340 right now. 1913 National Game Ty Cobb SGC 5. Whew. We'll definitely come back to that. That's for sure. 1926, a who's who in sport golf. Bobby Jones rookie. This is a PSA 7 sitting at 1,800 right now. 1,800. Next, we have a 1931 W517 Babe Ruth SGC 3.5 hand cut card, and that's sitting at 3K right now. SGC 3.5 is sitting at 3K. Then we have a 1933 Gaudi Jimmy Fox PSA 3, top 15% PWCC eye appeal, sitting at 1225. We have a 34 Gaudi Lefty Grove PSA 4, top 30% PWCC eye appeal, and this is sitting at 600 right now. 600. Then we have a 1946 Caramello Deportivo Ray Dandridge rookie. SGC2. I know very little about this set. This is sitting at 750. Next, we have a 48 Bowman. We have a Enos Slaughter, and that is his rookie PSA 7 sitting at 330. 330 right now. So let's scroll back up here. There's definitely some cards that jumped right out to me. I know we talked about this for a little bit. I'm going to ask you right now, and I'm going to ask the chat, just based on eye appeal, right? Based on eye appeal. We have identical PSA 5s, basically identical PWCC certified top 30% stickers. One is a dark cap, one is the white cap. What would you guys prefer in your PC, in your personal collection? Which one would you prefer? The dark cap, skin tone a little bit lighter. He's got the New York right on the sleeve, and you can see the New York starting to get spelt out across his jersey. Great centering on this. And then we have the Christy Mathewson with the white cap. Nothing on his uniform. And if you look, his sleeves here look a little bit whiter, and this looks a little bit more like cream color. So I'm wondering, would it matter to you guys? Does it matter? Which one would you prefer? Jonah, how about you?
I think I like the look of the dark cap more, just because of the logo, and then his face is not as cartoonish to me. So that's where I would go. It's just based on like the design of the card, but there's the rarity in the white cap version.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I see the dark cap quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when it comes to these T206s, I feel like I see just about all of them quite often, right? I don't think there are very many T206 cards that are scarce. I mean, there's some. There's some players that are definitely more scarce. I think we know that, right?
You're
But
right.
T206 is for the most part not incredibly scarce. And the dark cap I see a lot more often. You're saying you'd go with the dark cap?
I would. I just like the design aspects of it better.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get to some comments real quick before we get back to the conversation. So Orlando says, I love T206. They're little pieces of art. Mookie Chilson in the house. Mookie, my man. He says, Rob, great seeing you at trade night in New Jersey the other night. Great things happen in Jersey. I love it. Mook, it was a pleasure, man. Mook, I wish we got more time to talk. I know you and Ken, though, you guys were just, you were head deep in a conversation about like quilting and crocheting and I don't even know what you guys were talking about, but yeah, no, it was great seeing you though. Floating heads in the house. He says he'd prefer the dark cap with the New York sleeve. Orlando says I would take the white cap. It's rarer. Larry Gitlin in the house. Larry, what's up, man? He says he wants the dark cap. And Mookie says the New York sleeve. FTW. What's FTW?
For the win.
For the win. Okay, gotcha. I knew it. I'm like, I know what he's saying, but I'm having a mind blank right now. So New York sleeve for the win. Orlando says PSA has graded over 250,000 T206s.
That's
They are
crazy
not
number.
that rare. I mean, yeah. I mean, thank you for that, Orlando. I agree. They are not that rare. Not that rare. You're going to have some players probably that are more scarce than others, right? But I think when it comes to rarity, it's not really there. So so Mookie says, haha, Ken and I were working on our dream journals. I love it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, Mook. All right. So so I will exit full screen here just a little bit and then we will get back to it. So it seems like I don't know. It seems kind of split down the middle. I mean, I think Dark Cap probably got one or two more votes, and I almost feel like Dark Cap is. I'm just more used to seeing Dark Cap, and I think that without the PSA label, someone might look at the white cap and be like, "Oh, who is that?"
Right.
We're just so used to seeing Dark Cap.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's Chrissy Mathewson. This is the white cap version. Oh, okay. But with the dark cap, you don't have to explain. This is an iconic card right here.
It is.
But with the slight changes in this, I mean, everything, the tone in everything is different. The tone of the green, his skin color, his shirt, the hat, the glove, everything is like everything. The tone just changes. I mean, so
Yeah, I think they had two different artists draw it from the same photo. Not sure why
yeah, they don't even
why
look
they
like the same
chose.
person. Their face do
Yeah.
not look like the same person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think that they were brothers. That's how much apart they don't look. But I mean, either way, though. So Orlando says that he'd prefer the white cap. It's a much more rare version. Hey, man, I'm not mad at that at all. So guys, real quick, let me just say, if anyone is interested, at the National and coming by and saying hello, meeting me, just saying hi, I would love, love, love to have that. I'm going to be set up at National. I believe that my booth number is 2117, I believe. 2117. And so my booth is right next to corporate. It's right next to the concession stands, and I think it's over there next to where the autograph signing is. So yeah, I think that's what's going down. So Mookie said that him and Ken were working on their dream journals, and Floating Heads says that his blonde hair and the white cap is strange to me. I don't know why. Tone from Cousins Collectibles in the house. He said, "Someone say Tone, Mookie." So yeah, absolutely, man. All right. So moving on, we have a couple incredible Cy Youngs here, right? So we know that we have the two Cy Youngs, the two glove shows one, right? But let's take a look at these real quick. Look at this. We have one PSA 3. We have one PSA 2. I mean, the prices are neck and neck right here. Prices are neck and neck. So yeah, I think and when it comes to Cy Young, there's a reason why there was an award named after him, the Cy Young Award, right?
Right.
I mean, Cy Young, one of the absolute most incredible pitchers of all time. He has, listen to this. Are you ready for this? When it comes to his decisions, when it comes to his record, he has over 800 decisions. He has over 500 wins. We'll likely never see another 300 win career guy again. He's got over 500 wins. He is 5'11 and 315. A complete workhorse.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, you have to win 25 games a year for 20 years to get that 500 mark.
Well, he did it.
Yeah.
He did it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I hear stats like that. 511 career wins. Does that not make you want to just buy his card right now?
Yeah. When I was growing up, like Cy Young was the pitcher that I knew about most from that era. I didn't know Mathewson. I didn't really know Walter Johnson. Cy Young was like the biggest pitcher name that I remember hearing about. It's probably because of the award. You're used to his name being around.
Yeah. 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 Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So when these came out, he was at the tail end of his career. And that's another reason why his cards, these T206s, are such big cards for him. He was at the tail end of his career. So when you talk about playing year cards, he doesn't have much. He does not
No.
have much at all. So it's hard to say. I would want to ask the chat, what do you guys think is the most iconic of his cards? Is it glove shows or is it bare hand shows?
It's the portrait.
What was that?
It's a portrait, but
Or yeah. I mean, definitely portrait. What do you think about these two?
these two,
Yeah,
they're so different than each other.
I know. I think that when it comes to, I think you and we already talked about how the better looking one is probably this one, right? Is glove shows. That's probably the better looking one, right? Did we say that? Did we agree on that a little while ago?
So like the image of Cy Young is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the background on the other one a lot better though.
Yeah. I feel like I see this more. I feel like this image is more common to see. I could be wrong. That's just what I'm going with. But yeah, some absolute incredible cards. Cy Young just yeah. So let's see. We have Mookie and Tony in here talking. Floating Head says, "Bring back the Cleveland Spiders." Richard Price in the house. Richard, how you doing, man? Richard says, yeah, like you said, green portrait for sure, the most iconic. Tom Grant says the Spiders sounds better than the Guardians. Yeah, it seems like they can't get it right when it comes to team names, right? They'll just they're just gonna keep on trucking along though. So we'll see what happens. So moving along, we have this incredible Hal Chase blue portrait PSA 6. This is a pop 1 of 4, only 6 graded higher. 6 graded higher. I mean, great centering on this thing. I mean, right to left, it looks like it's maybe 55-45. Great centering. Sharp edges, sharp corners.
Yep, first New York superstar right there.
Hal Chase. Hal Chase. All right. So moving along, we have Home Run Baker with the Old Mill back. This is a PSA 2. We have the Mordecai Brown rocking that Chicago Cubs shirt. Old Mill back. This is going at 675. It's a PSA 3. We have Nap Lajoie, PSA 6. Pop 1 of 3, only 6 graded higher.
Yeah, that's a huge card right there.
Woo! Man, that's big. Yep, that's a very, very big card right there.
Yeah. Which one of these images do you like the best between the Lajoies?
I tell you, I really like that one.
I'll take the bat with bat, but I do
Yeah,
like this
no, you
portrait
know what?
too.
I stand corrected. I like the bat one as well. I've always been more of an in action photo person rather than the portrait.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean you can't go wrong either way. And I mean Lajoie, I mean this guy batted 339 for his career. He
Yeah.
played 20 seasons. 20 seasons. He batted 339 for his career. Do you think we'll ever see anything like that in modern baseball?
No. The
339 career batting average for 20 years.
no. No, the closest we have today is Arez, the Marlins, but no one
Who?
else. The Luis Arez, the guy for the Marlins who's hitting like 370, 380. You know about him?
No, I don't.
Oh, he was up around 400 like in June.
How
But
many has he done that for consistent years?
yeah, he won the American League batting title last year, and then he got traded to the Marlins this year.
I tell you,
So
man.
he slap hits the ball, not
Yep.
like I think he has 3 home runs on the season and like 15 in his career. So he just goes for hits, which I'll
My
never
kind of
complain
guy. That's
about.
my kind of guy.
Yeah. I
I
know
mean, look.
modern baseball is all about
I mean,
power and
yeah,
walks, but if you're on base, I don't care how you get on.
yeah, definitely. I mean, Lajoie, he had over 3,200 career hits, and he had less than 100 home runs. So, very
Mm.
similar. Very similar.
Dead ball era too, though.
Yeah. Yep.
He was the second player to get 3,000 hits with Wagner.
Talk about an accomplishment there.
Hmm.
Being held in that kind of regard, that's a nice little tidbit.
But
Yeah.
it's funny. His most famous card is that
Gowdy.
Gowdy. Yep. And
Yeah.
then he retired for a long time when that was made.
Yep. Yep. Lajoie, Triple Crown winner, 5-time American League batting champion. Man. Yeah, I love the way he looks with the bat for sure. I mean, they both look great. They're both great cards. Couple cards right here. I mean, you look at them and they parallel each other very
Yeah.
nicely. I mean, dark red background on here, dark blue background on
Yeah.
here.
And it's a righty and a lefty too. It looks great side
Right?
by side.
I know.
Like
I
if you had
know.
both of those cards put together in your set, that would look real nice.
Yeah. And I mean, the Trish speaker just, kind of speaks for itself.
Yep. Was that a speaker pun, Rob, or was that just coincidence?
I like that. What are your thoughts on the T202s right here?
I like them. They're definitely unique. I like the two portraits, and then you have the action shot in the middle. It's really cool because, like you said, you always prefer action shots or with the bat or glove, and then like this card, you get the best of both the portrait and the action, which is cool. But I wish if they had like 2 stars put together on each side, it would just be really, really cool. But there's not that I'm aware of like 2 superstars on the same one.
Well, Chief Myers, he's definitely not at that level of
Hmm.
of Maddie, but Chief Myers though, he I think the fact though that he was the primary catcher for Maddie, I think that is really cool. Like if there was, take who would you say is the greatest catcher of our generation?
Our generation, like post when,
Who?
like post what year? Like Johnny Bench or like
No,
modern catcher?
pitcher.
Oh, pitcher. Right now, like Kershaw.
Okay, so Clayton Kershaw, right? Say
Hmm.
they were to have a card like this, and then they put his primary catcher on the card with him.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's kind of cool, yeah. So
Yeah.
you think about Chief Myers and um, just I think it's cool. I think it's I like it, but
Hmm.
I also know what you're saying. I think you're saying kind of like I don't know.
Like a 58 Mantle Aaron.
I was just gonna give those examples right there. Yeah,
That's always my favorite star card of two
yeah,
players.
yeah. All right, so let's check out some of these comments real quick. Larry Gitlin says that the portrait with that beautiful green background is which I have. Orlando Collector's Dream says beautiful Hal Chase. Tom Grant says that's a nice three-finger brown. Larry Gitlin says that Lajoie is a beauty. Orlando chiming in with Arraez. He said he went 3 for 4 today. So there
Hmm.
you go. Orlando says the first player to have 3,000 hits was Cap Anson in the 1800s.
Yeah. Then Wagner was second, and then
Wow.
Lajoie third.
Wow. Yeah, Cap Anson. There's that iconic Cap Anson card. Is it from the Old Judge? Is it the
Yeah.
Old Judge
Yeah.
set? Whew. Floating Head says, Jonah, congrats on your Jackie grade, by the way.
Yeah. That was.
Without a doubt, congrats. So I'm assuming you're bringing Jackie to the National?
Yeah, I will be unless somehow it sells before then, but I doubt it. So
And you're
I'll probably
bringing
bring it.
the Mays to the National?
No,
No?
no. Keeping that one for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you because chances are if you bring it with you, it won't come home with you.
Yeah, I don't want to sell it yet.
Yeah, yeah. And Troy is in the house. Troy says the Nationals getting so close I can taste it. Can't wait. Gonna be a blast. Jonah hasn't changed his mind. Question mark. Change your mind. I'm not sure
I
about
think
what.
on coming. So I am coming now. So
Oh yeah,
pull the
Jonah's
trigger.
coming. He's gonna be there all day Saturday.
Yeah.
All day Saturday. So we're definitely looking forward to that. All right, guys. So it is 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. So that means there is 30 minutes left before the real bidding begins, before that auction starts and that timer starts ticking. So 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes. So, all right. All right. So let's check out this Ty Cobb. Let's check out this Ty Cobb. This is a very interesting set right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that there's a lot of people that have varying opinions on it. First of all, it was not pack pulled. Right. Second of
Right.
all, I mean, it's a playing day Ty Cobb and probably one of the nicest playing day Ty Cobb images I've ever seen.
Yeah, I really like that image of him there.
Right. But the price that it's at right now, the current bid of $1,000, I think kind of shows in what regard the hobby kind of holds these cards, right? So it was a National Game Baseball set, 54 cards total in the set, rounded corners similar to a deck of playing cards,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's two Ty Cobbs in this set actually. There's one I like him sliding too.
I know I've seen it, but I don't think I've seen the sliding one pop up on one of these auctions.
I haven't seen it seen it as much either. I've seen. I know the big cards in this set are the Ty Cobb and the shoeless Joe Jackson the
Yep.
most.
I think a Joe Jackson popped up on this auction within the last few months. Now that you say that.
I think there was one a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's sitting at $1,000 a playing day Ty Cobb. Now let's take a look at this hand cut Babe Ruth 1931 W517 Babe Ruth SGC 3.5. The Great Bambino, the Sultan of SWAT. Man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a great image of the Babe, right? But
Yeah.
he doesn't look too happy. Let's be honest.
No, he doesn't.
He does not look too pleased. He almost looks like he was thinking, "Why are you taking my picture right now?"
Yeah, there's a lot of Babe Ruth cards. I feel like in like strips and these hand cuts, and it's Babe Ruth, so it doesn't really matter what the card looks like on the image. Like you said, he's still scowling there, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's a playing days Babe Ruth card, so it's gonna fetch a pretty
yeah,
penny.
yeah. And so the 517, it's a baseball set. It makes up 54 cards. They're measuring, 3 inches by 4 inches, I believe. So there's some other big cards in here. There's Jimmy Fox, Mel Ott, Lou Gehrig, Rogers Hornsby, Lefty Grove,
Hmm.
and there are multiple Babe Ruths in this as well. There's multiples of multiple players. Most players have a second card in here. So great looking card though. I mean, talk about having this in your collection, what it would do to, I feel like, an upgrade to your PC.
Yeah, I mean, I think every vintage collection, if you can afford it, should have a Babe Ruth card in it. You can't like tell the history of baseball without Babe Ruth, who'd be one of the first names you ever mentioned. So
Probably the first name,
yeah,
right? Even
yeah, it would be
though
my first name for sure.
even though I mean, even Babe Ruth at that point, he was standing on the shoulders of giants as well. You talk about Cap Anson and a few other names that we've spoken about already tonight.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I think baseball history, if you're telling it in a general way, and I
Yeah,
don't mean sitting down for a 3-hour documentary about baseball. I mean just a
yeah,
a nice 5-minute general conversation of going through the eras. I think you start with Babe Ruth. I feel like
yeah,
Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, maybe Shoeless Joe, right? And then from there, and the thing is, how detailed do you want to get, right? Because now we could start throwing in some pictures. We could start throwing in Maddie, maybe Tris
hmm,
Speaker. So um, there's so many players, but yeah, I would agree. I think it kind of starts with Babe Ruth.
yeah,
When he's out homering all the other clubs combined.
yeah,
But yeah, beautiful card. Playing years, Babe Ruth. Can't go wrong with that. Can't
yeah.
go wrong with that.
That that Bobby Jones from I'm from Georgia, so
Oh yeah,
he he's from here too, and he made the Masters in Augusta, so that's a like the godfather of golf right there.
PSA 7, top 15% eye appeal. I mean, look at it. This golf card is going for 1,800 right now with buyer's premium out the door. It's over 2K.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the best player from that era for sure. He was an amateur the whole time, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. So next we have Jimmy Fox. We have Jimmy Fox, 1933 Gaudi, PSA 3, top 15% eye appeal. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful looking card. And what I love, what I love about this 33 Gaudi of Jimmy Fox, right? And I think a lot of us know this famously, this was his Triple Crown year.
Hmm.
So when you look at the 56 Mickey Mantle, and we
Yep.
all know that the premium that goes with the 56 Mantle being a Triple Crown year, I think that's why this card, and first of all, Jimmy Fox was an absolute well-deserved Hall of Famer. He had 2,600 career hits, lifetime batting average of 325, 9-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, 3-time AL MVP, and then the Triple Crown in 33. I mean, the guy's an absolute stud. But when you factor in the Triple Crown, which only happens once or twice a generation, if that,
Hmm.
this is the card. If you are looking to tell a story of batting, of hitting, in baseball, the history of baseball, this card would be an incredible representation of that.
Yeah. I remember I had a reprint version of that card when I was a kid. Never thought I would come anywhere close to owning a real one, which I definitely could now. So
That's
I
awesome.
always have a little connection to that one.
Yeah, and you know what too? I mean, I think Jimmy Fox is just very, very undervalued.
He is. He doesn't get appreciated in the hobby from, I feel like everyone in that era just gets dwarfed by Babe Ruth.
Yeah, yeah. It's very hard not to, right? And then so there's Babe Ruth, and then that goes immediately into Gehrig and DiMaggio. So it's like they just
Hmm.
dominated. I mean, the Yankees have just kind of thrown a shadow over most
Yeah.
of Major League Baseball history. Like in a good way. I'm not saying it's in a bad way. I'm not saying they cast a dark cloud over it. I'm just saying like it's really hard to stand. It's really hard to discuss the history of baseball, really up until,
Yeah.
up until the 60s without really just being dominated
Just Yankees
by
every year.
the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike Petty in the house. Mike, how you doing, man? He said, I like my PWCC eye appeal to be in the top 5%. I bet you do, Mike. I bet you do, man. I tell you, I don't think I've ever owned a card in the top 5% for eye appeal. Now that I think about it, yeah, never in the top 5%. I think probably top 15% is probably the most I've ever gotten. But here's the thing. That's if those PWCC eye appeals actually mean something to you,
Yeah.
right? Because all it
Just their
is
I
what was
think
that?
they're fairly accurate, but at the end of the day, as we judge the graders, they're judging the graders. We judge the stickers. You still have to make your own opinion on
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And that's why when it comes to vintage, I mean the grades really are they don't mean a ton. The grades don't mean a ton. I love the fact that a card has a grade because that means for the most part you feel fairly comfortable saying, okay, this is authentic, this card. It
Hmm.
hasn't been altered. So that's great to know. But outside of that, I'll tell you what the grade is. How about that? You know what I mean? Like I don't care what the slab says. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what the grade is when it comes to vintage. I mean, you know, I've seen some threes that look incredible, and I would take a 3 any day of the week over that 5,
Right.
and we've seen it when it comes to sales. Um, so yeah, the PWCC eye appeal, yeah, that's cool, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not hanging my hat on it.
I like it. I think there's good arbitrage if you can find the eye appeal cards on eBay. I feel like they always go for a nice bump on PWCC because it's easier right there. It's like confirm that people like to have another person confirm what they're seeing.
Yeah,
So it gets the full price there and you'll pay for it. But I think it's
definitely.
well worth the extra money if that's what you're into.
Absolutely. Tom Grant says, Mike, I picked up a roll of PWCC top 5% stickers if you need a few. Collectors Canada in the house. What's going on, man? He says, Rob, are you fired up for national or what, bud? Listen, man, I can't tell you how fired up for national I am. I am So excited for the national. Um, Again, Friday night, me and my fellow Wolfpack members, content creators, and card collectors, were putting together a trade night. It's going to be right across the street at the Crown Plaza. It's People have been hitting me up like crazy about it because the National was talking about, or there was at least rumors that the National were trying to shut down all trade nights
Yeah, I
other
saw
than the
that.
Thursday night one. Man, so I must have got in the last week, I probably got about 100 DMs from people. And
Wow.
and I think just and I don't even know if they're people that are even going to national or planning on going. I think it's just people that are curious,
Yeah.
because I think people we have one of the big trade nights now at the national this year. So people have known about it, they're curious. And so I think when they hear like trade nights are going to be impacted immediately, they're like, ooh, I wonder if Rob's is going to get canceled.
Yeah, it's
So everyone's
all
kind
the
of
drama.
nosy. Exactly. So it's like, so the amount of DMs I've gotten and conversations I've had with, fellow Wolfpack members, the Cousins Collectibles, Ken Sports Card Lessons, all that has been nuts. But it's still a go. Um, we're giving out shirts. We're giving out Wolfpack custom trading cards. There's going to be a DJ there. It's going to be cash bar. So it's going to be more like a hobby hangout than a trade night. But like,
Mhm.
there's going to be tables there for people to go there and
Yeah.
set up and trade and stuff. But it's definitely going to be more of a hobby hangout. There's going to be music, alcohol, all that good stuff. So it's definitely going to be for the grown and sexy. That's for sure. So Collectors Canada says, I feel like you've been talking about National for 6 months and it's finally here. Listen, I feel like I've been talking about it for 11 and a half months. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, man. It's unlike anything, you'll ever experience in this hobby. So, it's just incredible to be, a part of it and to just be in the hobby in general. It's my third straight national that I'll be attending, second straight national that I'll be setting up at. So all that good stuff, man. Looking forward to it for sure. So we have 15 minutes, guys. 15 minutes until that bidding begins. So let's keep it going. We have a 34 Gaudy Lefty Grove PSA 4. We have a 46 Carmelo Deportivo Ray Dandridge rookie SGC 2. Did you put this in here or did I? Do you know, Jonah?
Yeah. Yeah, I put that in there because obviously you don't see these every day. So I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about this one a little bit. So it's from the Cuban. It's a Cuban set of sport. That's what the Deportivo means, sports, and that's a lot of Negro League players in the set, and then some made their way to the MLB eventually. But Ray Dandridge, he never made it to the MLB, and he's considered the best third baseman to never play in the Major League Baseball. He's in the Hall of Fame. Um, he made it. He
Wow.
got signed by the New York Giants, and he was in the minors in Minnesota with Willie Mays, and he like mentored Willie Mays a lot, and Willie Mays considered him like a father figure while he was there. So
Wow. Wow. All right. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom up. Perfect. We're already here because we need to get in some of these, some more cards. So, all right. So next we have a 48 Bowman Yogi Berra rookie PSA 6 sitting at 1200. We have a 48 Leaf Sammy Baugh. This is his rookie PSA 6 and this is sitting at 1050. We have a 48 Leaf Honus Wagner sitting at 340. The registration definitely leaves something to be desired on this. Um,
lots of Leafs do.
Yeah, I know, I know. So we have a 48, or no, sorry, a 50 Bowman, Ted Williams, SGC 1.5, but this is a PWCC certified top 15% eye appeal. I mean, look at the centering on that thing for a 50.
Yeah, This Ted is really nice. I remember seeing this same card a couple months ago, I think. I can't really figure out why it's a 1.5. It has like, I think it has a crease maybe and like some surface wear on the front, but it might just be a print line that I think is the crease on it. It looks really, really good for a 1.5 if you're
Yeah.
in the market for early or mid Ted.
Yeah, I would agree. Great looking card though. Next, we have a 51 Tom Landry rookie SGC 8 1400, sitting at 1400 right here. And you know what I love too? I love how finally PWCC is mixing in the sports, because they always used to keep them separate. We'd have to get through all the baseball first before we
Mhm.
got to like a golf cart or before we got to
Yeah.
football. But now they're actually mixing in the sports like this. And it wasn't anything
Okay.
that I changed or that I'm doing different. They're just finally doing it.
They're just doing it by years only now.
Yep. So then next we have that 51 Ted Williams PSA 4 sitting at
Yeah.
550. I mean, really good centering on this too. Not perfect, but really good.
Yeah, I wish Bowman would have not been lazy on 51 Bowman. On a lot of their cards is the same exact as 1950, but it's bigger.
Yep. All right. So next we have the 1951 Parkhurst Glen Scove that's sitting at $86. And the only reason why I put this one in is because anytime we can see a really early Parkhurst hockey card, I love it.
Hmm.
So just wanted to put that one in. Then we have a 51 Tops Redback Yogi Berra SGC 4.5, and that's sitting at $130 right now. And what's really cool about this is, arguably this is like Tops first baseball set,
Yeah.
51 Tops as opposed to the iconic 52 Tops. So I like that.
They had a Topps Magic, and I think it was 1948 as well, but those are really small
Oh, okay. Yep.
and mainly retired players in there.
Next, we have the 52 Burke Ross Mickey Mantle. What are your thoughts on this, Jonah?
Hmm. I've just never been a fan of the Burke Ross set for whatever reason. I think it's always been kind of the background is always muted out in color, and then even on the image, it's kind of like spotted color as well. Uh, and it's the same card as the 51 Bowman.
Yep.
Obviously, the price is way different, but if they were, I would take the 51 Bowman definitely if they were the same. But it's a good alternative.
So next we have the 52 Tops, and this is where I wanted to put in a couple. I mean, look at the centering on this. Centering on this, the registration. This looks like a photograph right here.
Yeah, that looks great.
Then
Little
we have
little diamond cut on it, but
yeah, yeah. But you're gonna
typical,
see
yeah.
that. Yeah, you're definitely gonna see that. Um with the Billy Martin rookie PSA 5. Billy Martin, man. Just an iconic New York Yankee through and through. Through and through, man. He was with us up until the 80s.
Was he really?
Yeah, just, manager 7 different times.
Oh,
He
okay.
was a great player. I mean, you can't go wrong. Next, we have Gil Hodges, 52 Tops, BVG, 1 of 1, none graded higher. Let's see. We have the 52 Tops, look and see, Babe Ruth, PSA 6, sitting at 725. 725. Let's see. Next, we have that Warren Spawn. We have the 52 tops Warren Spawn. Look at this. Great centering, great edges, great corners.
Yeah, I like the. Always a fan of red backgrounds on cards, and that one's a great one.
Yeah. Listen, let's just jump right to it. 53 Bowman, Mickey Mantle, PSA 8, sitting at 13.5 right now.
Yeah, it's a great Bowman color. It's just a great set.
It's a big card.
Yeah,
It's a huge card.
yeah. You don't see many Mantles early playing days Mantles and eights at auction too often, and they're always going to go for a very high price, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I would assume that has more. Might catch another bid there.
Yeah, it's a beauty. I mean, the centering right to left, it's right to left looks 50-50.
Yeah, I think lots of Bowman colors are pretty centered from what I've seen on the set, like compared to 52 tops and some other early tops years. They seem like fairly easy, like easier to find centered than some other sets.
Man. What do you think this and listen, I'm sitting here kind of leaving dead air because I like what can you say about this? I really just want people to be able to soak this in this card.
Yeah, I I would think that would go for more money than what it's at, but I don't know the prices. But just any Mantle in a PSA 8, what's it at? Like 15K right now with the buyer's premium seems low to me.
So I'm looking up right now and I'm looking to see what the all-time high on this card was. Let me see if I can get that information.
But I think the just Bowman color in general is underappreciated by the hobby. They definitely.
Yeah, so last sold this card, almost an identical copy, last sold this month for 18K.
Okay, so it's a
This
little
is
cheap
still
right now.
under the last
Yeah,
comp.
yeah. So it seemed cheap to me from my vague knowledge of Mantle prices. So
Well, all
I
you
bet it'll
need to
catch a
know,
bid.
you don't need to know much about Mantle prices. All you need to know is
They're high.
they're high. Yeah, that's all you need to know. Just hear that cash register ding when you see or hear about Mantle for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And that
all
one
right.
has a sticker as well, so usually you'd get a little premium too. But
Yeah, top 30% IPO. And we may ended up seeing people duking it out for this.
yeah,
All right. So let's see. So next we have some cards from this set right here. This is Brown and Bigelow. This is Babe Ruth. So this was Babe Ruth, and this is Six of Hearts. I mean, this is a PSA 9. It's going for $31. So you
yeah.
could see that. I
I
think,
added these in
yeah,
here just because thought they were kind of cool. It's like a little kid with Babe Ruth in the background and then Gehrig in the background.
yeah,
Little game cards as well. So they're a pretty unique item I've never seen before.
yeah. I would agree. I would agree.
And Babe Ruth from the 50s for $40. Can't really go wrong.
All right. Whew, look at these bad boys. So next, I mean, you could clearly see a difference in eye appeal on these, right? So we have two different 53 tops, Jackie
Mhm.
Robinsons. We have a PSA 5 and an SGC 3. The PSA 5, I mean, it's almost unfair to hold it next to this. It's like it's if I was the owner of this SGC 3, I'd be like, "Oh man, get that PSA 5 out of here." I mean, look at the way this thing glows. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, the color is the
yeah,
big
the
difference
centering
on
on
here.
this is not great at all. Right to left, this thing looks like it's 90-10.
Yeah, the
Right.
color, the SGC3 is like all faded out to me.
I
Definitely
mean, it's
compared next to
muted.
each
Like
other.
the color's completely
Yeah.
muted. It looks like it has like maybe sun damage or something because it's very consistent all the way around the board, right?
hmm I think color's pretty underrated. People don't talk about color as much as everyone talks about centering, but if your card's centered and with no color, I'd rather it's
Whew.
just not as good to me, you know?
Listen, we could clip that what you just said right now. We could clip that and probably throw it up on Instagram or YouTube and just let that puppy roll because you're absolutely correct. And I'm going to paraphrase what you just said, but you get complete credit for bringing this point up. It's this is that so often in vintage cards, we talk about centering, centering, centering. Now, I'm not saying this is everyone. So if it don't apply, let it fly. Right? This might not appeal. This might not apply to you, what I'm saying. But this applies to me for sure because I like my cards to be as centered as possible as well.
Mhm.
But we put such a premium on centering. And what I hear you saying, Jonah, is that oftentimes I think color, registration, the tone
Yeah.
of a card. Often, like we put that on the back burner when we're discussing. Like if I was teaching a class, not that I'm not saying that I'm by any means qualified to teach a class on vintage cards, but if I was to teach a class on vintage cards, I think the first thing I would likely start with is centering.
Yeah.
But when you look at this, I mean, I think even Stevie Wonder would pick the PSA 5.
Yeah. Matthew said the color is tough because you can't always trust the scans, which is very true as well. You can't truly know the color until it's in hand. Because people on eBay, they could turn up the saturation, do some funny business with their photos. I think auction houses usually you can trust because it's the same scanner for every card. But that is true. It's very hard to. You don't really know what you're getting till it's in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, very well said. Very well said. And Matthew, shout out to Matthew, by the way. 1956 Tops guy, Matthew, looking forward to seeing you at the National. He put up a great post of a picture of like a bar deodorant and like I think I forget what else, a bar deodorant and something else with it. And he's like, I'm ready for National. And I messaged him. I said, listen, I love this post. I said, I'm gonna steal this idea, but I'm gonna give you credit for it. So I posted my own picture and then gave him the credit for it. So
Is that does it actually smell bad at card shows like that?
um
Or is
yeah, I
that just a
mean
running joke that people just drag out
it
for a
is.
long
I think it is personally. I think it's a running joke people drag out. Now, don't get me wrong. Um, when you have that many people in a
yeah.
closed place, yeah, I think you're gonna smell some funky stuff. But I don't care where you are. It could be a mall, it could be a department store. Um, it could be a client that I have that I'm working with, and if they just don't wear deodorant or they just have like I don't know, like a bad scent to them, like their natural scent is just kind of nasty. It can happen anywhere, I guess, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
at the national, um,
It's a lot of dudes in one room.
a lot of bros in one room, that's for sure. So real quick, let me go back to some comments. So Tom Grant said, "I agree. Authenticating it's not been altered is the value. I could pick my own cards beyond that point." So real good point. Thank you for that, Tom. Matthew says color is tough because you can't always trust the scans. Floating Heads says red ink fades. That Jackie definitely has some sun damage. um, Matthew says, I got my 56 Tops Don Mosi ID card. Absolutely. That's a card. That's what you had with it. So he's going to be walking around with that bad boy around his neck. So definitely be on the lookout for him. So we're in it. We're in it. We're already 2 minutes into it, guys. So if there's a card that you are bidding on, I know there's cards I'm bidding on. So as we've been talking, I've actually been kind of looking, bidding, bidding. Look at the baby, look at the baby. You know, that whole thing. If you guys know that quote, that's from Wedding Crashers. So Mookie says that's one good thing about the PSA red flip. You can compare the red of the card to the flip. No color in SGC flip. It's tough to compare. Wow, Mookie killing it, man. Absolutely. You're right. Matthew says, how's that 56 Tops doing? You are absolutely correct. Thank you, Matthew, because we have been just sitting here going long-winded about everything. I would love to see what that 56 mantle is at right now. It must have reset. Hold on. So that means when it turned 10:30 East Coast time 3 minutes ago, some cards probably fell off and we skipped over it. Here we go. Let's check it out. 4K right now. 4K on this 56 Tops, a Mickey Mantle, PSA 6.5.
Nice. That's the first card I bought big when I got back in.
Really? You bought a 56 Tops mantle?
Yeah, on a 6.5.
Wow.
Was that like a year and 5 months ago or so?
So a PSA 6, last known comp on a PSA 6 is 3,200. All right, so let's look up a PSA 7. A last comp on a 7 is 7,500. 7,500. So this right here is at 4,800 right now. So we still have a ways to go, but this is an incredible looking card. I mean, the registration on it, the edges, the corners, the centering, everything about this card looks incredible. And it's a brand new grade. So someone probably cracked this out of whatever it was in before. I would imagine it was in a BVG, maybe an SGC slab. It might have been an SGC 7, and they were trying to cross this over. You know, there's a few different ways where this could have, come out of what it could have went into. I'm curious if that's a final sold for price.
Mm-hmm.
It says sold for 4,800, so we'll wait for a minute because sometimes it glitches and it says everything's been sold when we know it hasn't been. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to page 1 and see where we're at on some of the cards that we've already looked at, and things have been updated. Cards have been moved around. Cards have been taken off the board. So we're going to see where we are at. Let's see. So this is not my favorites. For some reason, it took us out of favorites. This is one thing about the PWCC site, and I'm curious if anyone else has had this issue, okay? I really want to take it up with them, but it's like, who do I even talk to? So for some reason, every once in a while on here, my favorites will disappear. So I'll never have the option. Do you get that too, Jonah?
Yeah, I've had that. That happened to me today, and then last time
How
I was on one of
annoying
these,
is
it
that?
went away.
How annoying. It's obviously some sort of glitch on their website, but my favorites will just disappear. And then you basically have to just click on random things until you can get it to come back. I'm glad I'm not the only one. And I'm sure now that I'm saying it, you're glad you're not the only one, right?
Yep.
Because it's okay.
I couldn't figure out what happened the first time.
Yep. Look at this 55 Bowman Mantle PSA 4.5 top 30% PWCC eye appeal sitting at 1050 right now. 1050.
Mhm.
I've never thought that this image of Mickey Mantle looked like Mantle. It looks like his younger brother.
Yeah, it's all the Bowman images are pretty small on that card. They don't take up much of the card itself.
Gorgeous 55 tops Jackie right here sitting at 450. That feels like that's a low price. Look at this. Oh, look at the
Yeah,
centering on this.
I thought about going for that one.
Oh,
Held back.
this is gorgeous. This is one of the nicest 56 tops Jackies I've ever seen. Matthew, 56 tops guy, where are you at? Man. All right. So let's check it out. Mike Petty answering Matt's question. Where was the Mantle? He says 4K last I saw. And yeah, Matthew says great point too. You can always compare it to the redness of the PSA label. So great point. Adam, Wise Guy Sports Cards in the house. Adam, we miss you, man. He says I was late to the party, boys. Looking forward to seeing everyone at National this week. Cannot wait. Yes, absolutely. Mike Petty says that there's a 6 in the auction too. I believe he's talking about the 56 tops Mantle. Matthew says, man, I love the 6.5 grade for the 56 tops. It's an amazing sweet spot. And you know what, Matthew, I was thinking the same thing earlier today when what you had said about the 1.5, a PSA 1.5. That's a great sweet spot too for some cards. Matthew says, Adam, can't wait to see you in Rosemont. Mike Petty says, I find it impossible to look up the card again, even when it's in favorites. It's stupid. Mike, I agree, man. I don't know what's going on. Man. Tom Grant says that card may have been a failed experiment. Not sure what card he's talking about, but Matthew says, dude, I saw that 4 because a buddy pointed it out. Amazing card for the grade. Doesn't get much better than a 56 Jackie for collectors. Yeah, man, I agree. That 56 Jackie is incredible. This thing is unbelievable. If you would have told me this was an 8 just from looking at the front, I haven't looked at the back. Just from looking at the front, if you would have told me this was an 8, I would have said, yeah.
Back's clean. There's like a very small, appears to be like a little wrinkle or crease, like by Jackie's head when he's sliding. If you clicked into the image.
Oh, yeah, right there.
But that's the only
Yeah,
thing I could find on it.
listen, that thing is unbelievable. How isn't this a top 5% eye appeal?
I think they do the 5% by like it should have been a higher grade. So they think the 4 is accurate here because of the wrinkle or crease.
This should have
But
been a higher grade. This thing is unbelievable.
I think that's what the 5s mean. I don't think it means like
No, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it does.
But
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. It looks great for a 4.
Yep.
It's stunning.
All right. Well, this Bill Russell is still going right now. It is only at 575. I cannot believe how much these prices have fallen on these Russells. I mean, and the thing is, when it comes to this set, I mean, this is I guess this would be considered like somewhat centered. It's like these cards. If
Yeah.
it was centered, this thing would be going for 10x right now. So these
Yeah.
cards are. This set is just infamous for poor centering. But you look at this Bill Russell, man. Oh,
Yeah, I've owned one 61 Fleer, and it was a Bob Cousy, and it had the OC, or it had the miscut designation on it.
yep. Ooh. Barry Sanders auto, rookie auto. Oh, 10-10. You can't go wrong with that.
Did you see what was it? Jason Kuntz a video of him cracking out like 50 of those to get him signed this year, all 9s.
Yep. Yeah, he's a madman.
The way he was cracking them was just beautiful. Just so much practice at doing that.
Yeah, he I had him on my show a couple times and he talked about how
Yeah.
he's submitted more cards than anyone in the history of PSA or something like that.
Yeah, he interviewed Dimitri Young on his YouTube.
Yep, saw
I
that.
listened to that today because I always wanted to hear Dimitri talk about his collection, so it's good to get a little insight there.
Yeah, absolutely. So this 55 Jackie is sitting at 460. Yeah, I mean not the best looking 3 I've ever seen. It's
Yeah, it's a 3.
it might even be a
Average.
2. I don't know. I'm not knocking, I'm not trying to knock it like that, but I mean it's not very centered, the corner's looking rough. It's got some surface issues going on. So yeah, I think the price is indicative of that right now. I think people are looking at that and saying, yeah, it just went up to 490 right as we were talking. But look at this Babe Ruth cut auto.
Hmm. I hate when they put the stickers on the item.
Me too.
I've seen it on cards and I just cringe every time.
Yep,
Like on the
me too.
back, like why?
Yep.
And then they grade them still. It's like if it was any other sticker, you wouldn't grade it. So
Yeah. It's
that
a
one's like
great
really
great
close to
looking
the.
auto though.
Yeah, that one's like the sticker's super close to the roof too on that.
I mean, I would imagine those stickers are really easy to peel off, right? They wouldn't make it to where it's like you'd get paper loss by peeling it off. If someone ever wanted to crack that out and take the sticker off.
Yeah, I don't know like how. I think if you took it off like right after it was put on, but I mean it's probably been on there for years. I don't know how it would work. You know. Mike
Mike Petty
Petty.
says
Yeah.
that my favorites are now showing up the sold now, so that's not good. Not sure if I hit something different or not. The 53 Bowman Mantle went for 17.4. 17.4. So that's about exactly what the last
Yeah.
comp on it was. So
So
we
it got
didn't
a
see any
bid.
records broken with that one.
Yeah. Got like what 2 more bids since we saw it.
Yep. This Nap Lajoie right here, PSA 6. Pop 1 of 3, only 6 graded higher, sitting at 5K right now. 5K. The Piedmont cigarette background or backside. Mm.
Yeah, the portraits always go for the most.
I mean, it's a beautiful looking card.
It is. I think I
Nicely
see the one
centered.
with. I see the bat a lot more than the portrait. I haven't seen the portrait often.
This bad boy just sold for 210. I
It's a
tell
cool
you,
one.
after watching these cards come up for the last couple weeks, I really wanted to just buy one.
I think the batsman was my favorite one out of the set too.
And why'd they make it so he's getting hit by the pitch?
I think they're all like supposed to be like gimmicky, funny
Yeah.
as well.
Nothing funny about getting hit by a heater. All right, so this Jackie's still going, sitting at 525 right now. This Ruth, 72.50. I mean, we're looking at an $8,500 cut right now.
Yeah, it seems like a lot for a cut. I don't know what cuts go
Yeah,
for.
no, yeah, that's. I think that's probably up to par. I feel like I mostly see these somewhere between the 6 to 10K range.
Yeah, I've never gone after a Babe Ruth ball hard because I just know I can't afford afford one.
Yeah, there was this collector at when I went to the Philly show about 6 months ago, and oh my god, he probably had about 10 a combination of he had about 10 of these cut autos of Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb, just all in his case. I'm just looking at it, and I'm unbelievable to see in person. But the beautiful thing is about at the National, that's what you're going to see. The
Yeah.
National is so vintage heavy. It's incredible. It's
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be
incredible.
like, even if you don't buy anything, it's like a museum admission. You
Yeah.
know, like there'll be a SGC 9 mantle there this year instead of a 9.5.
Mm. All right. Let's see what else is still alive. I'm going to click all items. So I'm going to go to all items and see what else is still alive. And I'm going to sort by earliest year. All right. So it looks like we have some early soccer cards, footballers. We have some early SGC. A lot of footballer cards. Then we go into the T206s. Still have a bunch of T206 left. I tell you, if you were ever set building, right? If you were set building a T206, I feel like PWCC has to be one of the best places to come every single week because there are no shortage of incredible. Here's the card I put a bid on, as you can see.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of incredible T206 all the way down to the commons, but either way, they're almost always going to be graded by either PSA or SGC. So you know that you know what you're getting basically,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no shortage of them.
Nope. There's, what was it, 250,000 graded by PSA?
Man, yeah, I think that was Orlando that said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder how many people have completed that set. Probably like 30.
I was just about to say, right when you asked that, I was about to say probably not many, but then I'm thinking, well, you got to
People,
figure how many people have probably tried to complete it. It's probably so many
yeah, I
have
mean,
tried.
people, I think it's considered complete without the, obviously the Wagner and the Plank and
Yep.
then the Magi error.
Nice Hank Greenberg that we didn't check out.
Mm-hmm.
1934 Gaudi sitting at 1225 right now. These Jesse Owens Olympic cards are just always in the mix, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one of those one day.
But there's so many of them to choose from.
Yeah.
So, like, which one?
The Ogden cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's like the one with color on it from, I think it's 1936. It's like a tobacco card, so I like the color. So
Yep.
they're pretty cheap too. I just haven't picked one up.
And as you can see, cards are just absolutely dropping off. I mean, we're already up to the 60s now. We're already up to the mid 60s for stuff. Some Cassius Clay. Now we're getting into some basketball. PSA 10. Pop 1 of 3, sitting at 12K right now.
They're still
Bob
breaking up.
Boozer.
They're still breaking up that set, I think. Like
Yep.
that one person.
Gotta be.
There's more of them.
PSA 9. None graded higher. Well, that's a set buster. So there's no way to complete a 69 top set for a PSA 10.
No, I bet a lot of sets are like that.
Listen, if you're ever building a set and you're trying to keep it uniformed, regardless if it's from grade or if it's from T206 with the back, if you're trying to have all matching backs, whatever the case, you better do your homework before you jump into something. Could you imagine investing a ton of time and resources into doing a PSA 10 set, even if money like really wasn't an issue for you in your mind, like it was just disposable income that you were throwing at it, only to find out that this one guy, or there's probably a couple of players, but didn't have any PSA 10s ever graded? I mean, at that point, unfortunately, if you're trying to build a PSA 10 set, what's your alternative here? Do you give up?
I mean,
do you cross your fingers that one pops up eventually, which it won't, unless you go out there and you try to trim one, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be the only way to do it. You crack out a 9 and you try to trim it and get it to be a 10. There's no other way you're ever going to finish a PSA 10 set on the PSA registry if that's the case.
I think I don't think it's about the 10s. It's just about like the best copy available. So the 9 would be your best copy. I know what Dimitri Young was talking, that they would crack out a ton of 9s and just send them all back in again and see if one just got a 10. They said the Reggie Jackson PSA 10 rookie that he had was a 9 first.
Who said that?
Jason and Dimitri.
Yeah.
So that's really, really interesting. I think there's only a couple of those. Last sold for like $1 million.
That's crazy.
And that was a 9. And a 9 is probably, I don't know, 5 figures, low 5 figures. That is the hobby.
That is the hobby, my friend. I mean, you said it best. Did you see that clip of the Pokemon cards that were graded and someone drew a penis right on it and it still got graded?
Yeah.
As legit.
Yeah.
It just made me think of it because I saw an autographed Pokemon card pop up on the lower left screen as like someone had bid on it.
Yeah. And they're grading them so fast they don't, you're not going to know what every card looks like, but you think they'd catch it.
I know. Thank you, internet, for sharing that victory with us, right?
I wonder if it would go for a premium at auction.
Right? Like, what happens with that card? Like, does the owner crack it out? I mean, it's got an autographed penis on the front of it.
I bet PSA saw it. They'll probably like decertify it or something.
Well, if it was a high grade and then they decertified it, I mean, they could probably sue PSA if they did that. I don't know what the grade was, but
I don't know. I doubt it was worth much, anyways.
I saw this. I saw a lot of Michael Jordan PSA 10s, a lot of junk wax PSA 10s. I owned all these cards, obviously not in PSA 10, but
yeah,
I just get this rush of nostalgia looking at these cards, looking at anything junk wax.
Yeah, I went through my uncle's Griffey collection, and he had all these Griffies, but no upper deck, and then the Fleer and tops all in rough condition because he just had them, and he was like, how much are they worth now? And I was like, $3 a piece. So
that's a tough conversation to have with people.
Yeah,
I've had that many times. People are like, oh, Rob, I heard, you do cards and, I have some. And I had one of my neighbors bring me over just boxes and boxes of cards one day for me to look through.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
Nothing.
you got nothing. The closest thing to any value you have here are the garbage pail kids cards, and they're not even from the original set. They're second, third year ones. I'm like, so you really don't have much. Sorry, man.
Yeah, my dad recently bought a house that had a ton of stuff in it, and he was cleaning out the stuff, and he found some cards in them from
Get out of here.
like 66, 67, 68. So he sent them to me to sell off for him. So that was pretty cool. It was like $500 worth of stuff. Nothing crazy, but 68 Mantle, bench rookie, Aaron and Mays.
Wow. Wow. This
Good.
is a great Zimmerman card, man. Well, I mean, the eye appeal on this and everything.
That looked good.
And for a 14 that was in the box.
Right.
And for it to still look that good. It's got some, light sugar staining right there. I mean,
Why is that a 1? I can't tell from just this view.
beats me. No idea.
Maybe it has paper loss somewhere. I don't know.
I'm not seeing any. I could,
Right.
but
Yeah, it looks great.
I mean, it looks incredible. For a 1914 Cracker Jack card, it's one of the best conditioned Cracker Jacks cards I've ever seen from 14.
Yeah.
15, yeah. 15, there's a ton of impeccable condition. But
Yeah, 15's
14?
weird.
Oof. So yeah, guys, to everyone that's here that is watching, I know we're going to be wrapping up shortly, right as the auction is slowly ending. But, I'll be at National Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I mean first thing Thursday. My flight arrives at 7:45 in the morning, so I'll be there when doors open at the National. I'll be at booth, I think 2114. I think is the booth number 2114, I believe. I'm gonna we're doing our trade night on, it's more like a hobby hangout, not so much of a trade night, but people are gonna be there trading like crazy, I'm sure anyways. But at the Crown Plaza Hotel Friday night, directly across the street from the convention center. You could DM me or message me on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that if you have any questions, if you're looking for it or anything like that. But I'll be there all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll be walking around. I'll be at my booth. Jonah, when are you going to be there again?
Like all day Saturday. I think my flight gets in early too, like 7:30.
Beautiful, beautiful. All day Saturday, man. So, well, Jonah, I know you'll definitely be coming by the booth and saying hello, and I'm sure you'll be on the move. But listen, feel free to hang out there if you want for a
Yeah,
little while, and post up and just
I'll
looking forward to
definitely.
everything. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing even if we've never talked before, even if we've never exchanged a DM, even if you've just kind of come in, watch these videos, you never even comment, you never message, never anything. Listen, I want to meet you, man. So,
Mhm.
definitely say hello for sure.
Yeah, it'd be great to meet you in person for sure.
Likewise. I mean, I feel like I know you already. It's so weird because it's like, especially if like you're used to like video or FaceTime, but
Yeah,
even if it's just straight up messaging like on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case, you kind of feel like you know each other already. It's like, yeah, it would be nice to see you shake your hand in person, but
right.
I feel like I know you so well already, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. What booth number did you say you're going to be at again? I was making a note.
2117.
2117. Thank you.
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm trying to come pre-prepared with booth numbers, so I don't have to figure all that out when I'm there.
Yeah, 2117. Literally right next to corporate, right almost right next to the entrance, right near where the autograph area is. We're right around the corner from the autograph area, right near the concessions, right next to where the case breaks are happening and PSA is. I mean, we're so definitely good prime location. So but
Mhm.
the thing is too, it's like you look at a map and it's like, oh, okay, they'll be easy to find. But once you actually walk into the National, you realize how massive it is,
Yeah.
how huge it is. So it's like you can make plans to meet people. You can make plans. Oh, okay, we'll do this. We'll go here. We'll do that. But good luck, man. Good luck like actually doing 1/10 of
Yeah.
everything that you said you were going to try to do, because once
Right.
you get there, it's a totally different ball game. Totally different ball game. Ah, damn it. I guess I didn't win that. Well, I was the underbidder. Let me see if how I can get to it.
The hobby needs an underbidder. That was
Right?
what Luke said. That was funny.
Yeah, exactly. Outbid. So I'll go to outbid. This thing was going for so low. I was the underbidder, got outbid by $10. Type 1 photo of Babe Ruth and his
Oh
wife
wow.
and their kid. Look at that. He's got the Yankee hat in hand,
Mhm.
wearing the pinstripes. I should have threw a higher bid on it.
Yeah. $10 is nothing.
Yeah, I love the Type 1 photos. I'm definitely continuing to become more and more educated on and just, up on it.
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
I've thrown some bids on some Type 1 photos recently. I don't expect to win them, but at least I put my hat in the ring for a little bit.
yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Um all right, so the auction is just about over. There's a few more things that are getting bid on, but none of the vintage stuff that we covered. It looks like it's mostly modern from here. So Jonah, man, we're gonna wrap it up. Listen, man, pleasure having you on. Thank you very much staying on for the full 2 hours. Very much appreciated, man. Definitely looking forward to seeing you in
Yep.
Rosemont on Saturday. So safe travels to you.
Mhm. You too. It'll be great to see you, and then everyone else that I've talked to for the last year. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tim, San Francisco Giants memorabilia is in the house. He's talking about ordering up some food. Troy says we will hook you up with a Type 1 soon. Troy is actually the one that really has been pushing, and putting it in my ear for the Type 1 stuff. So Troy, hoping to meet you at the National. Everyone here, I'm hoping to see you or meet you if you are attending at the National. Again, my booth number is 2117. I'm sure I'll be posting it on my Instagram. So the Instagram is definitely the best place to, I guess, stay up to anything that I'm doing. So safe travels to anyone that is going to be attending. It's definitely not a race, so try to get there nice and safe. And I guess that's it. Jonah, any final words?
Yeah, just safe travels as well to everyone coming to the National, and hope you meet some good people and find some good cards there as well.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Thank you again. Next Sunday night, we will be here. Once again, I'm sure we're going to be just fried from talking about the national, but I feel like there's probably going to be some good buying opportunities next Sunday because
Yeah.
so many of the people are going to be, looking at the national, and spending their money there. So yes, Collectors Canada, this is the last live before the national because the national's this week. So the next live that we do next month or next week will be after the national. So yeah, once again, guys, thank you very much for coming on. Don't forget, take care of yourselves and your collection. Have a good one.